Every new mom gets told that they need all these breastfeeding supplies, but trust me, you do not. As a mom who successfully breastfed 2 babies over a year each, I'm gonna tell you what I think are the most essential items, as well as go through some that I don't think are essential. Let's jump right into it. So the first item is this lanolin nipple cream. Okay, so this to me is the absolute most necessary item. There's all these bells and whistles that come with breastfeeding. You need this one. If you're gonna directly nurse your baby, this is the absolute minimal thing you need. For me, I believe I use this purple brand. I don't know how to say the name of this thing, but I liked it. You don't need a ton of this. I would actually recommend getting 2 that are like small, travel size, 1 for diaper bag, 1 for at home, maybe multiple places at home. This is an item where you don't need a bulk amount, but maybe a couple small containers would be nice. Now, let me show you another popular brand that you will often see. Okay, here's another nipple butter. This one is this Earth Mama. It's a very popular brand. I never used it. I never tried it. I think it came out once I was done breastfeeding. So this is one that you will frequently see. I don't think it's a big deal, particularly what you go with. Obviously, you want one that's safe for baby. So do your own research on that, but I do recommend this product in general for breastfeeding. The next item that I'm gonna recommend are nursing pads. These are what go in your bra because in the beginning you will often leak when you have what's called a letdown and your supply is like full and ready to go. So leaking is not fun. There are disposable. I use disposable as well as reusable. We will get to them next. So disposable, obviously not as good for the environment. It's something you're gonna have to buy more of potentially. Whatever number you get, say it's 100, divide that in half, you got 50 sets essentially. So up to you if you wanna go disposable or reusable. Disposable can be nice for vacation or a day at the zoo, like on the go and outings. But I think if I did it again, I would just use the reusable that I did buy. Okay, now when it comes to reusable, these are like organic, cloth, whatever. These are all the same color. That is my preference, okay? Because then when you wash them and they come through washer, dryer, whatever, you just put them in a stack. We don't need to match, okay? So I would go for something like this. Now, you gotta keep in mind, how often do you wanna wash them? How often are you going to run through them? Like meaning changing them out throughout the day. I wouldn't get an overabundance. What I would do is every time you're done with them, go take them and either put them in the washer or put them in like a mesh, delicates bag in the washer, but just constantly throw them in the washer so that whatever load, whatever family member's laundry gets done, these are constantly getting washed. Then you constantly have new ones. So that would be how I would do it. Let me show you what I don't recommend you get. All right, so packages like this are what I don't recommend you get, where there's lots of colors, you feel like you have to match them. Now, okay, if you wore a blue and a pink, does it actually matter? Nobody knows, but I know, and it would bother me. So for me, I actually would just get one color, all matching. It could be pink, it could be like a skin tone, it could be white. I don't really care, but I like matching. This for me is a skip as far as breast pads. The next item for me that is a must-have but might not be for you is a nursing cover. So I was a cover mama, that was how I was comfortable. For the newborn phase, I like this style of cover. This one here has like the hoop. I think it's easier to see baby with that hoop. Okay, your back's not totally covered. Be strategic with your clothing, but this was my recommendation for the newborn phase and what I did use. Now, let me show you the next version that you might like for an older child. Okay, so this cover here gets you coverage all the way around. It's, a cape, a scarf, whatever you want to call it, infinity. So all of you is going to be covered. When baby's under there, your shirt in the back is covered, or like where your pants and your shirt meet, your waistline, you're covered. Now, for me, feeding a newborn under this felt cumbersome. Like I felt like I was fighting it with my elbows and I felt claustrophobic. So for me, I would do this when my baby is older. They're more experienced. They can just get on there and latch. And also an older baby can start to play with your cover. Mine would start flipping it up, that other style, the hoop style. So for this, it was harder for them to flip the cover up, play peekaboo, say hello to the world, be nosy. Babies can get really nosy about their surroundings, which is fine and great. But when you're trying to nurse them in public, you might be like, baby, eat, we got things to do. So for me, I like the hoop one for newborns and I like this one for older babies. All my nursing covers were free. I got 1 or 2 like this that I didn't use very much for free. And then the hoop one was a hand-me-down. So I didn't even buy or like technically register for a nursing cover. Who cares if you get it secondhand? There's no big deal at all. The next item I want to touch on are nursing bras. So nursing bras, you have a full bra on, but then you can clip one side off and it goes down, but like your strap is still there. So this is a way of undressing as little as possible and making it work. Now, this is gonna hugely depend on your body type, your bust, if you are small chested or large chested. For me, I liked having a nursing bra. I wore them every day of breastfeeding. If I wore a regular bra, it was like because I had to for a certain dress or something for an event. I wore nursing bras like religiously. So for me, this is a must-have and it's an essential item in my opinion. Now, I do honestly want to tell you at this point in the list, these are my must-have items. These are my essentials for directly nursing and breastfeeding your baby. All right, I own all of these items in some form or another. Like I said, nipple butter, breast pads for leaking, nursing covers, and nursing bras. Okay, these were all things I owned and I believe they are the bare minimum essential. Let's go ahead and carry on a little bit further into some more optional items. All right, so this is just general nursing clothing. Okay, these are nursing tops where it's a little more discreet to open up your shirt. I did have some nursing tops, but I also used regular clothing, so that's why I'm not considering this as essential. Now, do I think they're helpful? Yes. A lot of my nursing breastfeeding clothing I did get secondhand. I bought a couple things new, tried to really limit myself because I knew it was a short phase of life. So it definitely depends on your commitment to breastfeeding, how long you plan to do it, and if you spend a lot of time at home and you just don't care what you're wearing or you are out and about. Completely up to you how much you want to invest in your breastfeeding wardrobe. Here we have the haka. Have you heard of the haka? So I did use the haka. This one did make my personal list. Now, what I would do is I would nurse my baby. I would hold them football style, which meant their feet were under my armpit on one side, and then I'd put the haka on the other side. While they were nursing on one side, I would catch the milk on the other. Now, I didn't nurse from both sides when I nursed my baby. I did one side at, say, 12 o'clock, and then the other side at, say, 3 o'clock. So catching that extra milk on the opposite side, I didn't feel like it was taken away from my baby. It was just like catching the leaks, essentially, or a little more than the leaks. So the haka does have a little bit of suction. It's not a pump, but it's also not fully just a catcher. It's this weird in between. Could be confusing. It definitely depends on how you want to use it and what your breastfeeding goals are. If you're going to pump and you know you're going to pump, don't get this. If you're going to directly nurse your baby and you don't want any freezer milk, don't get this. You probably don't need it. So for me, I knew I was primarily going to breastfeed, so I didn't care too much about pumping, but I thought the haka would be a great way to get some milk in the freezer, which it is. I consider them easy ounces. I didn't have to pump. I didn't mess up my supply. I just caught a few ounces to put in the freezer for an emergency. Now, this version of the haka is the more affordable one at $12.94 on this day. It does not have any bells and whistles. Let me show you a slightly upgraded version. Okay, this version of the haka, if you notice, has a cap and it has a stand, which I don't know why it's not made with the stand just built onto it, to be completely honest. Maybe it's more comfortable on you. I like the cap though. If you nurse and set this on a coffee table, an end table, it can get knocked over and you spill milk. Don't cry over spilled milk. This is the definition of that. So I like this one, but for $27.93, that's a bit expensive. The tip I have heard before is to buy the more affordable one with no cap or anything and then have a coffee mug. And when you're done using the haka, set it in a coffee mug so it can't spill. Okay, so simple solution to solve that problem, but wanted to give you both versions and both options. Now this next item I did not own. Okay, I think we've hit the point where I didn't own any of the rest of the items, but they are popular breastfeeding items I want to go over just to give you my opinion on if you think you need them or not. So this is Haka brand, but these are called the Ladybug milk collectors. I do not believe these have any suction. They're just something that you can wear in your bra to catch dripping milk. So it's kind of like instead of wearing nursing pads to absorb it and then it's just wasted, you could wear these to catch some. I don't know how comfortable they would be. I don't know if that would be for me. You know, you lean over to pick up baby off the floor or something, you might spill. Not sure if they are a needed item or not. Now, if you find yourself to be very leaky, maybe this is something you would want to get later on. We also don't want to overbuy for our breastfeeding journey because what if it just is terrible for you? What if your baby doesn't latch on day 2 and you give up and you bought all these breastfeeding supplies? So in my head, stick with the absolute basics at first and you can get more if you need it. I know it's nice to maximize our registries, but we also don't want to be like over consumers and wasteful. If you are interested in any of these products, all the links are going to be down in the description as well as in the first pinned comment, okay? let's keep moving along. Okay, this item could be a make it or break it item for you. This is a nipple shield. Essentially, you wear it and baby breastfeeds like through it. I never used one, never touched one. I did not want to for multiple reasons. But for some people, they get a nipple shield, all of a sudden they can breastfeed. And they're so thankful for this item. So it's like a curse and a blessing, okay? So my reasons for not wanting it. It's another item to keep with you all the time. It's another item to worry about keeping clean. So a lot of these breastfeeding items aren't that big of a deal. This though is on your breast, baby's mouth. Breast milk is very sticky. And so you're needing to clean this and then you're reusing it, but then like you do buy new ones, but then how often? It's clear typically, so it's very easy to lose in your home. You need a container for it, like in the diaper bag. I just did not want that. I really, really did not want to use a nipple shield. It was not my goal or my preference. If you need it, it is a great resource to have. I wouldn't buy these ahead of time. I would not put these on my baby registry. I would wait, have baby, see what you can do in the hospital, and they will have nipple shields in the hospital if you want to try one. If you're doing well with them, take note of what size it is and what's working and literally get on Amazon and order some, okay? Have them go to your house before you even get there. So for me, it's I wouldn't use it unless you need it item. Now, some of you are probably gonna think I'm crazy because I'm just now getting to the nursing pillow. Everybody needs a nursing pillow. Spoiler, you don't. I went into pregnancy and breastfeeding without wanting one. I was like, they end up on your couch or on your bed for literally like a year. They just sit around. There's nowhere to put it away. It's such a large item and like kind of bulky. And I did not want this on my couch for a year. So I said, I'm not getting a nursing pillow. I took a pillow off our guest bed and I usually would put like a receiving blanket over it to kind of like protect it. And I would use that when they were a newborn. And before you know it, you don't need a nursing pillow. They grow up so fast, they get stronger. And also like when you're at a restaurant, do you use a nursing pillow? No, you just manage. Now, obviously you want to take care of your back as much as you can when you're nursing and not, have hunched over posture. Take care of yourself, but I managed to do so without a nursing pillow. This is the boppy style one. It makes the letter C. If I were getting a nursing pillow, I would not get this one. I just don't think they're doing enough for you as far as support. What I would get if I were getting a nursing pillow is this version, the My Breast Friend nursing pillow. So it is a harder surface. Baby's not going to sink as much. It actually like really supports them up. I like the back support on it, the adjustable like buckle, and then it's got that pouch for a water bottle, phone, remote, whatever you're doing. So for me, I would get this one, but I managed without one. You can too if you want. It's up to you, okay? Again, all links are in the description, but you don't have to have every baby product out there. Think about what you want in your home and in your life, and if you just truly need it. I used a pillow off the guest bed. It worked for a couple months, and then I put it back and it was gone. No item to store, no item to resell. Because also, I've breastfed 2 children. Was I storing that between them? Like, no, and that was great to have one less bulky item in our home. The next item that I did not get, but you do see them often, they're very popular, are these breast therapy packs. Often they can go hot or cold. They're supposed to give you some relief. So I didn't use them. I managed without. One thing I did a lot when I was breastfeeding, like during the duration of my breastfeeding journey, is if I felt any lumpiness or hard spots, I would like massage them out. That's another item that I did not include on this list, was like a massager. Don't get a bunch of things like that. Like use your hand. I would rub out any spots to try to prevent mastitis. I didn't use these. I lived without them. For me, they weren't a needed item. Okay, not everything is needed. This next item is silverettes, silver nursing cups. I don't really understand if the silver is supposed to be healing or if it's just to protect you from chafing and rubbing. I never had them. I think they're outrageous. I don't think they're necessary. Again, not every item is a need. I think you can live without them. So for me, this one would be a skip, but if you're interested, again, check out the links. Now, those last few items are things I didn't get because I knew I didn't need them. If you want help eliminating some things off your baby registry that maybe you don't in fact need, I am here to help you. Check out the link in the description or comment, tell me more. And I do baby registry audits where I work with you and try to eliminate items you don't need, add items you might be forgetting, and get you prepared to meet baby. I also want to note that on this breastfeeding list, I did not include things for bottle feeding, for pumping, or just feeding in general, sort of like burp cloths. That's another list for another day. This list is primarily focused on nursing your baby from your body directly. Okay, I hope that makes sense because I could talk all day about breastfeeding and all the things you need and all the things you don't. As I said before, all the links to these products are in the description as well as the first pinned comment. You can also comment, tell me more to learn more about my services. And in the meantime, check out more videos on this channel about baby registries and how I review them and try to make them as good as possible and tailored to you. Okay, that is the goal. All right, I look forward to seeing you in one of those videos or working with you soon. Until then, have a great day.